Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. All right. Oh man, good evening. Good evening and welcome. Nashville. Nashville, this one is for you. Because I did not expect to get the messaging that I thought I would get today, but it's gonna lead to, I think, a good music business conversation. But first and foremost, man, it is Camp from the Port Show, where every sound has a story. And what we're getting today is a lot of sounds that are indeed giving us stories. And we're gonna cross into a different genre, and then we're gonna go right back to the hip hop. We hip hop first. You see the shirt, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the hip hop first platform, but this is also just a place to speak about music. We're gonna speak about music in not only unconventional ways, but we're going to try to educate if we can. Always about peace, always about perspective and productivity, right? Or just productive conversation. Because I think that's important. Today's episode, you see the title, episode 73, Protect Jellyroll at All Costs. And that is the vibe. That's why tonight I am speaking. For the first part of this, we're going to speak directly to Nashville, but also the world, because now Jellyroll is an international superstar, right? And it's very important that you understand what a superstar is in the world of music. And for me, this is the first time I've lived in the city where an artist is becoming this phenomenon, right? This international and global superstar, and seeing how it affects the city, but then all of a sudden seeing how just the inner workings of the industry, or people, I should say, within the industry are trying to work against this person. And I think it's a really interesting story. So I want to cover it. I won't reveal the sources. I won't name too many names. I just want to have a music business conversation because I think that is very important. So there's this guy that posted this clip on Instagram. He goes by Ryan Upchurch, right? And his intent was to expose, like, like that's we're in this whole expose era, right? And personally, I think it's going to backfire on him. But he was trying to like show this clip of him in the conversation that was being recorded without, I don't think, anyone's knowledge, because even the shot of it is from a different room. Somebody's trying to record a conversation being had, and he leaked it on his Instagram in an effort to say, "Hey, y'all better stop messing with me." But he didn't use that kind of language at all, and it was of Jellyroll saying that he's going to go in and he's going to like F up the industry, right? And he was like, "Yo, we're gonna make this, like, we're gonna make it big. It's gonna be like a robbery." And I know for maybe other genres of music and maybe just other people, they don't really get what that means. Because even as he's saying that, I'm listening to it, I'm like, I don't see the problem. I don't understand what's wrong. But what is it? What is he saying that's so bad? And obviously comments are comments, and that's one thing, and that doesn't really matter. But in it, he's saying, like, he's just on a hostile plot to dominate country music. And that's what it is. And not for nothing, it sounded more prophetic than it did slanderous, right? Because when he's saying things like, "Yo, I'm going to go in, I'm fixing to go in, and we're going to F country, and this is going to be a robbery. We're taking the game over from the inside out, not the outside in." Now, if maybe this is not the way, I don't know, Randy Travis talked back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Or Porter Wagner or somebody like that. But this is in hip hop context, because I looked up both of these gentlemen that have everything to do with this. This is no different from Master P saying, yo, we about to come in and we about to kill the game. Ja Rule, Murder Inc. This is all about, hey, yo, we murder Inc. We murder in the industry. Like that kind of dialogue, that's not wrong. That's not wrong to say. If anything, and there's no telling when this was actually recorded, but if anything, it was more prophetic, because not only is he saying that what he's about to do, but he's naming the people that's going to come in behind him, and he's going to pass the baton and keep going. And Struggles mentioned, and this guy Ryan Upchurch also gets mentioned in this. He's like, this is the whole list of like, yo, once I get in and I do my thing, then it's on y'all, and then you're gonna do your thing, and then you're gonna do your thing. So I'm thinking like, so what is dude exposing? Because even in this, he's saying like, dude, you next, like you're next. So maybe because we have this conversation a lot in music, especially in hip hop, they'll be like, oh, this isn't happening fast enough for me, so now it's about to be some smoke. And I don't think that's right. That's not cool at all. So that is the that's where we're coming here. Let me get to the comments first. What up, Wang? He's a Upchurch always in something. I've learned that in the rabbit hole that I've got into Googling and searching who Ryan Upchurch is. Like I didn't realize who he is, but we're gonna get to that. What up, Greedy? If not watching out for who is not hearing for him. Wait, hold up. If not watching out for who is not hearing him, for she will send him a reasonable amount of snake. Oh, okay. Greediothian, 1986. All right. You may have to break that down for me a little more, and I may be butchering that comment. And apologies if I did. But the first thing I want to do is look at who Ryan Upchurch is, because this is a very bold thing to do. And it's coming off the heels of a very prosperous week or two for Jellyroll, right? He was in the WWE, he was on SmackDown, he's done the Tonight Show, he's been on SummerSlam, then he was at the Grand Ole Opry like days after that. So like he's on a run, he's on a stadium tour right now with Post Malone. So this is people throwing rocks at the throne to at a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it appears to be. And there's not necessarily really any real credence to, I don't think, any bad energy or bad, just, I guess, juju, if you will, that's surrounding this, because it's not like he was caught in some compromising position saying that he was going to do one thing and another happened. Now, there are some other videos out there, but this is amongst artists. This is artist beef. This looks like white rap beef. This looks like MGK versus Eminem spiraling out of control like a few years ago. It looks like a lot of that. It looks like a lot of white on white crime, and I'm gonna let white people mind their white business. We're gonna talk music though. and that's that. Wayne said he a hater that wish he was where Jellyroll is. Next. Okay. So, but you know what? Here's the deal. I did look it up, right? I had to know who this gentleman is. So like, who is Ryan Upchurch, right? And he's listed as a singer, songwriter, rapper, and comedian. And he's from Tennessee. He's from out here. He's from Cheatham County. So I don't know if that's familiar with anybody that's out there, right? But then on the flip side, right, he has he calls his movement, it's like the Creek Squad, you know what I'm saying? And the Holler Boys. And to his credit though, because he's obviously not chump for whatever his demo is, because he got a collab with Carhartt. And the notable collab with Carhartt right now is with Clips. And they're one of the hottest rap acts in the industry, especially for the year 2025. And he definitely has had a Carhartt collab. He won a lawsuit against Nicole Arbor, and I don't know if y'all know who that is, but in 2015 she did the Dear Fat People video. It went viral, and that kind of started that kind of jump started her comedy career. I don't know why they got into it. That seemed like it was a whole different set of things, but he was definitely going back and forth with her. Apparently, they tried to sue. He might have countersued, but I mean, hey, look, because he's not above posting the facts, as you would say. He went ahead and posted he won the settlement or won the lawsuit and received the settlement in that 6-figure range. So hey, look, salute. I guess she really wasn't who she thought she was, or couldn't prove the case that they thought they could. So after that, you got to listen to some music, because reading about one people is one thing, but then when you really you want to hear where the smoke is, because again, this is artist to artist type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always going to follow the music. This is a music show, so the music matters to me. And I must admit, he was decent. Have I heard it before? To a degree, yeah. It's depending on how much MGK you've listened to, depending on how much Morgan Wallen you've listened to even early Jellyroll. I mean, there is, he's not inventing the wheel or anything like that, but the singing, rapping with the country twang, keeping it real hood Billy, you know what I mean? Like that kind of music, like he's doing that. And it was good. I'll say this. I listened to doing even more rapping, which is like this track. He dissing somebody, and I think we kind of know who, right? Like he might be dissing a couple people after the way I went down the rabbit hole of just his just beef. I didn't realize it was this much country rap beef. Like, where did this all come from? And it was a song called Ghost, which I was like, this is hard. Like this Ghost track, this hard. And there was another joint. But and this is kind of what the people know him for, currently. Matter of fact, yeah, Wayne, he has a large following. If you like like a white country boy that loves rap as well. Yeah. That's what I learned. That's literally what I learned in this whole process. I was like, oh, bro is he's really picking up where Bubba Sparks left off, I guess, or wherever. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. It's just that I didn't realize that he had been amassing so big of a following, and this looks to be independent. I watched his artistry versus industry video, so he definitely is taking a lot of pride of being an independent artist and doing what he wants to do and doing things on his term versus on the label's terms, right? Again, I won't cap, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't garbage, he wasn't trash, homie was decent. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know him before this situation, before the video was sent to me. But he's not bad, definitely inspired by Eminem. And I'm not mad at that. That's not a bad thing. I like seeing the white artists that are inspired by the greatest white rapper ever, in Eminem. I like that, because it's showing, one is just showing that his legacy and his lineage it did affect a lot. And everybody has their positive and negatives, right? But there's something to be said about the last 2 generations of just white rappers, right? They're because they are focused on wordplay, they are giving you pain, they are giving you storytelling. And even though people love to say that Eminem never rapped about anything, all of those things are derivative of Eminem's catalog. And it's cool to see that he inspired people that looked like him as well as people that didn't look like him. Hey, look, on the follower side, and Wang alluded to it as well. Like, he not chump. He not chump at all. Over 3 million subscribers on YouTube, over 900 on his IG account, which holds the video that I'm talking about here. Again, doesn't consider himself part of the industry, but I did want to know why. I was like, yo, why attack the biggest star in the world? And usually that's low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? That's usually low hanging fruit. My man Cloak the Scribe just chimed in. What up, sir? Love seeing you talking about the artists and the music you're excited about. Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. Respect. It's you know, I had to figure it out why, because so often, people love to say that stuff like this is only a black thing. It's only a black artist thing. It's only a black music thing. They love to say that, oh, the only people beefing in music are hip hop and R&B acts and the rap acts. Like rappers are the only ones that are beefing and doing this and the third. And when they use those words, that's code for saying black people. But clear as day here, and again, caveat, because he do rap a lot. The dude Upchurch here, it seemed to be going in on this meteor, this shooting star called Jellyroll, and it's not good. It's not. I think it's bad for business, but I think it's more bad for business on his end though. And now maybe that's wrong, because we definitely live in a world where it doesn't take you much to get like slander or canceled. But cancel is fake now. Cancel culture is over. I don't know if y'all know this or not. Except for Black People versus Target. I think that's actually working. But that's not music. That's not entertainment. That's e-commerce and economics and business 101, and recognizing your demo or not recognizing your demo. But in this instance though, country music, I don't know, and I would love to have somebody that's just more savvy in the country music space, especially in the country rap music space, because this is a conversation of context, and I think context is so important. Context and why things are being said is so important. Let me get to my notes here after we go through a couple more comments here. Yes, because they love to say for sure. They want to make it seem that only black rappers beef or whatever, and I love that white rappers are like, nah, we in the game too, we beefing. You know what I'm saying? We got smoke. We want to bust these raps and I'm here for it. But even just again with the dialogue that Jelly was saying about him and his team and their plans to be successful in the industry, and that's literally all it was. That's all it was. And that's where the conversation of context comes in, and why. Because again, when I hear rappers say, "Yo, we're gonna come in and we're gonna kill the industry," hey, look, what did DMX say? What was the intro on "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot"? It's like, yo, man, these Rough Riders, yo, they on some taking down the industry type ish. Dog, that's my man's in them. You know what I'm saying? So the shit I'm doing, my man's in them is doing. Like it's that. And there's nothing wrong with that. So and it's interesting how a person can say you're exposing somebody that's trying to big you up in the process. And that's going to be the tricky part for homie, right? Because like his name is dropped in like, yo, after I get on, Struggle get on, Ryan gonna get on. And I'm just like, yo, I'm like, bro, are you sure? You sure you got the right clip? Because this ain't, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be more like in tune with like what's happening now. Now, granted, the comments, both good and bad, they be ripping homie apart. They be saying he be drugged out, he be tripping. Again, I don't know, homie. We're not gonna disrespect dude from my end. I don't know him like that, but apparently, like there is literally a split crowd here, and that's normally just how it go. Because some people want to be so anti-industry, and some people just like they just genuinely want to be happy for people that are just a success. And you know, I think that's all coming to play here. You know what I mean? Um, one thing that I saw, and again, it's so funny because obviously now Jellyroll's this global country superstar, but now he's getting the, oh, I'm upset that Jellyroll went mainstream, right? You know, right? And again, let's just have some music 101 talk. Let's just have some music 101 talk now. Let's pivot just a little bit because I don't like the, yo, he's mainstream now or he went mainstream. I hate the take because it's stupid, right? It's just a stupid take. And this is the reason why it's a stupid take. And I say this all the time. Um, if you are an artist and you sign to a label, because again, you have the option to not do that. You have the option to not do that. Um, but if you do, an artist's job is to make music that recoups the contracts and the budgets that are put in place to make sure that you are a success. So just real talk, it's in the best interest of every artist to to at least have a gold album or single. Like that is your goal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can make your music, make it authentic, impact the world, speak to the real and do all that. You can do absolutely all of that. But if you are an artist and you want to sign yourself to a label, you are signing up to go at least gold and to put every single effort that you have as an artist into going gold or platinum or double, triple platinum or diamond. That is your goal. You know what I mean? And again, you don't have to sign up for that. But once you do, that is your task. And there is no refusal to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because the gold and the platinum plaques, for singles and albums, that's how artists eat, and that's how labels keep the lights on. I forget who he was sitting with, but Danny Brown. Danny Brown was talking about his last album on man, was it Fool's Gold? I forget the label, but because Danny Brown he was just signed to boutique labels, like independent boutique labels, and they were going crazy about how, you know, his last album he did was so great. And he was like, man, I'm still paying for that album. He was like, so go buy that MF. Because he was like, yo, I went way over my budget and the album did not sell what it was supposed to. So yeah, hey, look, if you love it that much, go buy it. Tell some other people to buy it because I still need to recoup from that project. And we forget about that because I mean, look, music is art, but music is a business once there are contracts and quotas and benchmarks put in place. And you shouldn't lose sight of that. You should not lose sight of that. And a lot of this, I can't lie, man. It feels like sour grapes. You know what I'm saying? Because look, love it or hate it, man. Love it or hate it, your favorite artist will most likely get dropped from their label because they don't make the label enough money or any money. So you gotta sell. You're gonna sign that contract, you're gonna go in that booth, you're gonna do the things that they're asking you to do in an effort to hit the numbers that they need you to hit. So everybody can feed themselves and their families. That is the game. That is just how it goes. And I think a lot of artists lose sight of that. I think a lot of artists get sour grapes because they see somebody ascending that they feel that they're better than, or that they feel, quote, doesn't deserve it. But hey, who are you to tell an artist what they do or don't deserve when you weren't willing to take the deal and make the records and do the things? You know, that is that's just a big part of all of this. Hey, there we go. Okay. Hey, biggest the plug. I just seen him when he had the shirt off. That was crazy. But he was rocking some 10, 20, 40,000 crowd. He was going crazy, it looked like. That's dope. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. Hey, you know, saying all that to say, what I've learned from going down the rabbit hole of this Upchurch versus Jelly thing is that a lot of this can be solved with a conversation. I think that just like in hip hop and just other genres, there are artists that kind of start out together, and you may start ahead of a certain artist, but then one artist will make a decision or is willing to do something or create something, and then it takes off for them. And then, you know, even though they have their best interests and things take time, at the same time, it don't happen at the time you think it should. You know, everybody is not going to approach the rap game like 50 Cent did. And one reason why we should never accept 50 Cent slander, no matter how we feel about Ja Rule and Murder Inc. or what he does online as far as trolling, but 50 Cent is the only rapper for sure that had his own just fame, stardom, heat check, right? Get Rich or Die Trying is over 5 million on pacing on the 10. And then the G Unit album comes out next. So that can go double, triple platinum. And then Banks' album comes out that does 2 or 3 million. Then Buck's album comes out and it does 2 million. And I want to say then comes The Massacre. But no, before that, though, here comes Game's album. It does 5 million. Then comes The Massacre. Then comes Tony Ayo, who goes gold. And you're never going to see something like that again. And it's not because the numbers aren't there, but there is, I think people don't truly respect the machine like 50 did. 50 respected the machine, and he was able to say, look, I'm going to stay hot for one reason or another. You know, that Shady Aftermath G Unit run where Eminem, because like even look at Eminem, you look at D12, you look at Obi Trice, Stat Quo, and 50 Cent, right? At one point that was Shady Aftermath. And look at the horse that won. And so that same horse that won was like, yo, in the middle of my winning streak, let's get this G Unit thing off the ground. Because all things considered, 50 could have waited for that G Unit album until 2006 and would have been justified, because Get Rich doing a dime, then The Massacre doing 5, and then you lend yourself to Game and he does 5. It's like, you know, all things considered, he could have, Banks' debut album could have came out in 2007, but he didn't do that. And I think that people are looking at that anomaly and trying to take that as that's the status quo. Now, yes, that is a rarity, but I think also where 50 Cent was also on a very he hit a very underrated hand in spades. You know what I'm saying? Like, M's the big joker, 50's the little joker, Dr. Dre is the ace. But damn, Lloyd Banks is the king of spades, and Buck is the jack. And then Game, because he's from the West Coast and the West Coast needs something, he's low key the 10 and the 9, and you don't have any diamonds and one heart in your hand. So it's like, oh, So we just gonna run the table then. Like we're gonna run the table. And I think he recognized that, yo, well, Banks is a better rapper than me. So we're gonna make this happen. And that run, yeah, hey, perfect. Yeah, it was a superb run, but it was a superb run because, respectfully, the second guy, the next up guy on that roster, on that G Unit roster specifically, was probably not even like from a skill point, maybe not in song structure, but in just raw lyrical talent. Like Banks is a better rapper than 50 Cent, but 50 Cent is a songwriter. People forget, even though he had the biggest rap album in the world, he also won the ASCAP Songwriter of the Year award one of those years between 03 to 06. Like he won the Songwriters of the Year award. And that's something different. There's rapping and there's songwriting. And I think everybody thinks that they're in that bag. Once you get a deal, oh yeah, I'm a songwriter. But are you making the songs that truly move the world? Are you doing that? And that's always a tough sell. And so honestly, for this kind of circling back, not even kind of circling back, absolutely circling back, I think the thing is that, success breeds envy. And sometimes it's difficult to be patient. And then, hey, look, and then sometimes, man, sometimes people get so successful that they don't want to see anybody else be successful around them, but the last time I checked, Upchurch wouldn't sign to Jelly. So he doesn't truly owe him anything. At least that's not from the knowledge that I have acquired here. He doesn't owe him anything. He was just like, no, this is my man. It's like, I think he dope. Well, I'll make sure that something happens for him. And literally, this literally sounds like it just ain't happening fast enough for dude. Like maybe he wants to be at SummerSlam too. You know what I mean? Like maybe, you know what I mean? Like he wanted, like he won his moment. He want his Jimmy Kimmel moment. He want his moment to sing or rap at an NBA game or NFL, like a Titans game or something like that. And that's understandable, man. We're all humans, especially artists. Artists are all sensitive, even the tough ones. Even the tough artists are sensitive. And they're going to want to see the fruits of their labor really manifest into something. And I did see something where he was Upchurch was a little he was a little upset because I guess the doors of country music weren't opening to him. And it's because he's leaning more towards rap. And again, one thing I think that country music does really well is gatekeep what they call traditional country music. And he don't want to go the route of switching his style up, much like Jelly did. And so now he's not getting the success. And so now he's upset. That's what it looks like. But bro, sorry. Yeah, I mean, it ain't, there's not much you can do. Like, listen, Dirk did the song with Morgan Wallen, and he's not a country artist now. You know what I mean? Like and his streams, I don't think they went up for his actual music beyond Broadway Girls. I don't think it went up like that. And people put Nelly on country tours, but listen to the playlist that plays when he's there. You know what I mean? Like they're basically, they are country songs. He's barely rapping on those songs except what Ride With Me. That's, that is the rap song, if anything. So I hope they have the conversation, and I hope they squash this, because it does seem a little frivolous. It does feel a little petty. It doesn't seem like it's going to lead to anything super crazy. It just sounds like an artist wanting an opportunity, and he may be just holding the ball with a little bitterness because the impact, the ripple effect has not hit him yet, you know. And yes, country folks rock with their actual folks. Again, I think that's something that the genre of rap needs to adopt, even if we're going back to regional sounds. I think that's important. But even with that, right? You got to be in this. You got like the ripple effect, man. I think people got to understand that your hustle has to increase to really take advantage of the ripple effect. And that may be experimenting with sounds. That may be paying for the feature with the guy that's the ripple effect, or a favor for a favor type of deal. It could be putting yourself in different positions and putting yourself on different shows to be seen and being heard, because it's not easy. It's not easy to get yourself hot on somebody else's wave, especially when you're not signed to them, when you're not collaborating with them, when it's really just a situation. Oh, like, no, my homie blowing up. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like what the meme be saying: clap for everybody else that's winning. Even like clap even when it's not your turn and all of that. Like that's this is the 101 on that, and that's what it feels like. And I've seen some other stuff. He got some other personal gripes. I won't get into that because honestly, wildly enough, is getting into some street politics, it seemed like. You know what I'm saying? Or some dirt road politics, some creek politics. And we ain't touching that. I don't touch that when it comes to rap music and the black artists that I like to talk about. So we're not going to talk about it when it's somebody else. We here for the music and the music only, bro, and the music business conversations, and that's what it's gonna be. And I think that's totally fine with me. Yeah, hey, and you know what? And in totality, Manda, you gotta think there was what 10 years of Jellyroll just rapping. You know what I mean? Like this is pandemic jelly right here. You know what I mean? Um, and I think that's important too. That there was a point in time where you could probably say Upchurch and Jelly and all these guys were doing the same kind of music, but then he pivoted. Once Ernest said, "Yo, come roll with me, let's do this," and they started really doing country music, like singing, and kind of fading the rap off to the background. Like, okay, we can do this country rap thing. We can do that, but yo, this is how we get in the game and we really make an impact. And I think that's what this is all about. And you can't call that selling out. You can't call that going mainstream. I mean, well, you can call it going mainstream, but that's the goal, though. That's the goal, and that's the job, right? You got to want to do that if you're going to sell records. But what I want to pivot to before my last topic of the night is, man, listen, Jellyroll is a superstar, and he's the greatest Nashville redemption story of this generation. Look, I don't know who that would have been before here, and again, respect to Starlito, respect to Buck, and hey, look, even though she's not from Nashville, hey, respect to Dolly Parton. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, but listen, Jellyroll story. He is the greatest redemption story, I think, in the music industry right now, but specifically to Nashville. I don't think people see it because you couldn't see it. You have to be here. You have to be here and see the energy and see the people when they see him perform. And you have to see the people that are walking the streets. And when, like, just randomly, I heard Liar. Somebody's banging Liar down there on the streets. Like, his music is being played at ignorant levels all times of the day here. People look at him as a symbol of hope, as a symbol of change, like all the stuff that Barack Obama was talking about. You know what I mean? Like for America, like that's how they feel about Jellyroll right now. And there should be no hate for dude. But everything that he does for Middle Tennessee, it ain't just Nashville, it's Antioch, it's the city council, it's, you know, everything that he is doing for Middle Tennessee now that he has the means and resources to do so, it should be celebrated. And I don't care if you're I don't know. I don't care if your beef is like with him musically or what he's decided to do with his content or whatever. Like, there's so much hope and just so many people here because of the kind of music that he's doing. And you know, people are saying like, yo, these songs are changing lives and saving lives. I watched the guy, big bald brother, at the Grand Ole Opry right after SummerSlam. So this is what, maybe 2 weeks ago. He's out here in the crowd. He's got his camera up and he's literally singing and damn near in tears at this Jellyroll song. And he's singing word for word. He's screaming. He want everybody to get up with him. He getting people, trying to get people to get up and celebrate and just be joyous. And like, it was almost like he was being converted to Christ. And that's a lot to put on one man, but that's the power of music. That's the power of music, and that's the power of people that are becoming instruments of change and redemption. You know, like Jellyroll's probably lost about 200 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, he's provided nightlife where even Black people feel like they're welcome. Black and Hispanics, like Black and brown people and just other people, they feel more welcome on Broadway because this place exists there. The Titans are building a new stadium. You can't tell me that he won't be one of the first people to play in that new stadium. You know, there's so much residual impact. There's so big of a ripple effect for an artist to be from a city or a state and to really make it in a really big way. Like, even the label that he's on is here. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand that it's bigger than Nino Brown. You dig? It's bigger than Nino Brown, bro. And I don't, obviously it's never room for hate. You know what I mean? It's never room for people to be just negative when you see that much positive going on. Now, granted, I don't know any of these people personally. I'm talking to y'all strictly about the music. And what I see is the music changing minds and mindsets and energy in the city of Nashville. That's what I see in Davidson County, Sumner County, Robertson County. Like, I see it with my own two eyes. And even the OGs that love traditional country music are on board with what Jelly's talking right now. And that kind of movement, it can't be derailed. It's just like the mission of Martin Luther King Jr. It's like the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's like the mission of Malcolm X or the mission of Gandhi. It's just like, bro, he ain't perfect. And that's actually his branding. Yo, I'm not. You know, that's what Save Me is about. You know what I mean? That's what Sinner is about. That's what all of these songs, again, that are impacting people in such a great way. That's what these songs are representations of. And I don't think it's right for anybody to try to derail that, and to be somebody that may have been in the circle or is in the circle or can receive some kind of residual impact from being in that circle or seeing the effect, man. That's to me, that's something deeper rooted. That's something deeper rooted inside of that person. And again, no disrespect to the brother Upchurch. Again, don't know, homie. And again, maybe he has a legitimate gripe that is not about music. Maybe. Don't know. But I'll say this. If you're going to be the person that's trying to take that kind of energy away from the city, and if you're going to be the type of person that's taking that type of brand or music down, man, you better have another Quincy and Michael Heal the World or We Are the World in your pocket. You'll have to, because man, those are officially very big shoes to fill. And it's just not wise. Let the music heal people. Let the music change lives. Let the music impact the culture and the city of Nashville. Just let it do it. Let it cook. And again, trying to tear somebody down or trying to take somebody out, that's never really going to be a great result for you. And that's anything in life. We all got enemies. We all got haters. We all got people we're not fond of. But when your focus becomes trying to take somebody else down, it's usually never good for you. It's just my thought. So yeah, I'll start how I end that segment with, yo, man, protect Jellyroll at all costs, man. Again, I've lived in Atlanta and I seen Jeezy drop TM 101. And I saw that what that did to the city. I was in Atlanta when T.I. dropped King. And I was in Chicago when Graduation dropped and Kanye did not live in the city. So again, it's different. Things are different, you know, and it should be celebrated and not trying to be destroyed from the inside out or from the bottom up. It's Camp from the Porch Show, man, where every sound has a story. Topic number 2 tonight. We won't take too much time, y'all. Boy Drizzy, your boy Drizzy. This is my question. My question of the day. What will Drake do without his American Women fan base? Because it's not looking good for his American Women fan base. I know we don't like to call women females and all that, right? So we're going to stick to American Women fan base. Obviously, Drake has 6 different accents. I think he's from like Berlin, Germany now. You know what I'm saying? He reminds me of when D'Lo Brown was the European champion. And he was just like from somewhere different. And he was like learning dialect or wearing like different like garb or like just different things. But he'd be like, yo, I'm from Istanbul, Turkey this week. Or he'll be like from Ayr, Scotland or something like that. I'm like, yo, D'Lo Brown's a nut. But on top of that, right, Drake is living his raps, living the raps that he directed at Kendrick. Oh man, hold up. First of all, but you're right, man. That nobody's, not many have done what Jellyroll is doing. My man Wang here, he was like, he go to the UK and D-ride them, no pause. Hey, because that's what he want to do, right? Literally, no pause, right? The world is a big place. He gonna still sell regardless. It might blow up harder overseas than they do here. So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because let's talk about rap rules, right? Again, family matters. When the beat changed for the 3rd time, can't you just open his mouth? Someone should hand him a Grammy like now. Where is your uncle at? Because I want to talk to the man of the house, which is an underrated bar in that song too, by the way, because he's talking about his uncle that's transgender, but that's neither here nor there. But when he said, you digging for dirt, you should be looking for proof, right? Well, Drake is officially doing both. He's officially doing both. Just when you thought all the lawsuit talk was over with, here comes the triple down. Because not only are they requesting new documents, excuse me, I think they're requesting some wild documentation here. Because now they got Lucian Grange in the lawsuit. And basically the premise of this is Well, look, when Story of Adidon came out by Pusha T, you know, y'all did the 1-2, and we kind of just got that out the way, even though that song was never for sale. That song was never for sale. But Drake is now in this situation where he's suing people that ain't even involved with certain labels and certain deals and certain things anymore, right? And then, you know, it's under the act of, hey, look, I wanted Kendrick silence like y'all silenced Pusha T. And Pusha T even alludes to some of this on why the album that they had, Let God Sort Them Out, which is still my rap album of the year. You know, they had to buy themselves out of their Def Jam deal just to drop that album. And that's what Drake is speaking to. So literally, Drake is in this situation where he's like, man, look, all I'm asking y'all to do is what y'all normally do for me. He didn't do it. So now I'm gonna sue. Which, yeah, that's kind of whack. That's kind of whack. But the thing is, it shouldn't have been, that shouldn't even have been a thing to do anyway. Why are we trying to silence people in rap beef? But you know what? The other part of it, though, is that unfortunately Drake is just being the person that's going to be seen as the first person doing that. But that's a real thing. That's been a real thing since the 90s. It's been a very real thing since the 90s. Because again, music is business. Y'all saw that that clip in Straight Outta Compton. Jerry Heller wanted to sue Ice Cube when No Vaseline dropped. I want to know how real all of that is, and if there was actual litigation and paperwork in place for that to happen. It's very well documented how Nas was blackballed and kind of pushed out and silenced and stifled by Hot 97 because of their relationship with Jay-Z and Rockefeller. You know, we saw Cannabis versus LL, you know what I mean? And how the Def Jam engine, more than anything, made sure that Cannabis just did not prosper to a certain level. So it ain't new. He's just taking the very sassy way about doing it in the eyes of many. You know what I'm saying? You let this complexion show. You know what I mean? But you know, but now then, so now speaking of complexion showing, no way. Now we get into the nasty work. And the nasty work here for me, not that the other stuff is wild, but this is nasty. Drake wants documentation on Kendrick's violent history against his wife and potentially his children. And even the dude Dave Free, he wants documentation involving this gentleman as well. So basically, Drake is trying to win the all facts battle through litigation and legal paperwork. So Drake is literally trying to prove in the court of law that he has the realest diss record of all time, even though he lost the battle. And this is what I was trying to tell y'all about this Takeover versus Ether thing. I hate it when people kept trying to tell me that Jay-Z just delivered all facts. Like, no, he did not. As a Nas fan, he has more than one hot album every 10 years. I don't care if Nas got his tech after you showed it on tour. That does not matter to me. Hey, again, I love Mobb Deep. Second favorite rap duo or group of all time. Don't care about the pictures that he took when he was in dance class dressed up as Michael Jackson. Don't care. I dressed up as Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? It's like, so hey, it is what it is. But Drake is literally trying to prove, basically, he's trying to prove now that there is speculation about Dave Free being the father of one of his wife's children. He is trying to prove with documentation that there has been a domestic disturbance or domestic assault, or there has been something else that, old squeaky clean freedom fighting revolutionary Kendrick, he's trying to find legal chinks in the armor, I guess, just to make his song more valid. Because for Drake, he thinks the battle is done at Family Matters. And I do love the song Family Matters. I'm not here because look, you can like both of them, and I'm not here to tell you to like one or the other. I do believe Kendrick won the battle, and I think it's not even close. But my favorite song, and the song I feel is the best, is the Family Matters joint. I'm sorry. Even though, hey, look, but a great song doesn't mean it's a moment. Not Like Us is a moment. Not Like Us is a moment in time. And it's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean? Let me get back to these comments real quick, man. Y'all doing y'all thing, and I appreciate you. My man Wang says, why don't he understand that the more he digs in on this, it makes him look worse? Very great question. Take the L and keep it moving. Make the music. It's still selling. And I think part of it for me on this question specifically, I think one half of it is, he lost to Pusha T, but it looked like he won because Pusha T is not concerned about going platinum and being a bigger star. Like, he doesn't want to do the Drake things. He doesn't want to be in that stratosphere. He's not trying to give you a Controller, a One Dance, a Hotline Bling. Hold on, we're going home. Like, he's not here to do that kind of music. So even though the optics would maybe have a casual fan looking like, oh, well, that's just Pusha T. It doesn't matter. Drake looked like he won. Obviously, Drake versus Meek, he won. Drake versus Common, he won. But then again, you're dealing with people that are just not as big of an artist as he is. And then you just got the music just not stacking up. But this situation, this one hit a lot different. So now this is your public L, whether you want to cop to it or not, because one, I still think he just underestimated how big of an artist that Kendrick was or is. Because Kendrick is doing arenas too. Saying he was doing arenas before Not Like Us. He was and now he's doing stadiums with SZA, of course. But Kendrick, even though he doesn't make all the same pop culture moves, Kendrick's on a lot of people's minds and he's on a lot of radars. Now, again, he doesn't have as many number ones, but there is something about just I guess it would just be the industry love that he gets that positions him to be a bigger artist. And that's not to say that Kendrick doesn't sell records, but one could be like, is he really selling records on the level of Drake? Well, yes, he just doesn't have as many number ones, and the hit records, the number one constant rotation records. He's minus those, but he definitely does have like catalog, and he has organic fan base, and they went rabid. They went rabid because they're also tired of hearing Drake, and he hit that 5-album skid of and he didn't really have the bangers for about 2 or 3 summers. Like, he didn't have the ones. Like, Drake went on like a 10 or 15 year run of having 3 of the biggest songs of every year, and that wasn't happening over the last maybe 5 years, maybe. And that's actually the perfect time to strike. Let me see. Yeah, shit gets goofy at that point. It don't matter what the facts are in real life. Nobody gave a fuck about Kendrick. Fact checks. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. The black delegation will never turn on K-Dot. And I think that's important for him to know too. But we're so obsessed with facts versus fake news, or this is what really happened. This is, hey, look, another angle of the exposed game. Let's go to court. Put the lie detector test up here now. Put the lie detector test up here, and I guarantee you I pass. That's what people on. That's what people on this era. It's literally a what did Detective Alonzo Washington say from Shannon Day when that Denzel's name, Alonzo Washington? It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Well, people on that now. And it's definitely, it's disappointing. And I'm not even saying that like, oh man, I'm so heartbroken. Drake did this. It's just like, bro, I think the What Did I Miss joint was working. I think the What I Miss joint was working. And I think if you just lock back in, come up with the slaps, I think everything would have been fine. But he is obsessed with proving that his diss record is the real one. I don't think that he can logically move forward and be like, oh man, this pedophile lyric is hurting my business. Like, no, it's not, bro. No, it's not. You did some stadium in Australia, bro. Like, you're not hurting from this. You're like, nothing's more hurt than Drake's ego. Nothing's more hurt than his heart, because he lost this battle to an artist that he felt was inferior. And that is, that's just the bottom line. That's the running theme, I think, of tonight's show. Again, sour grapes, man. Look, favor ain't fair. That's why bras and condoms come in different sizes. Favor ain't fair. Sorry. But what you can do is do the best you can with what you got, and be happy with your successes and your failures, because we're all going to experience both. That is it. Hopefully this is over soon. I don't know. I don't know if we're in a situation where UMG is going to go to court, try to bleed out the money. Like, if they try to drain Drake's bank account, I have to make sure I said that right, because that gonna sound crazy. But if they decide, yo, we're gonna go to court, and we'll stay in court for 3 years if you want. That's a bad thing for Drake. I don't think he wants to play that game, because labels always have money. They sign and drop an artist every day. They're gonna get more money. They're gonna get just more liquid cash to deal with this than Drake will accumulate. And that's not me pocket watching, but that's just like, man, taking on Universal Music Group. Like, yo, just Google Universal Music Group and see what it holds and see who's the owner. It's a lot of money on that side, bro. It's not to be played with. Not to be played with. Appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, hey, man, look. Favor ain't fair. Bras and condoms come in different sizes for a reason. Sums up the battle. Hey, and you know what? That's real. And that's it. Drake, just make the slaps, man. Get back to it. Real quick before I get out of here, I did my first listen on the JID or the JID album. It's dope. I'm going to listen again. We might have a deeper dive on that album. I'm trying to find an album that we can really talk about, but it's just a lot of great rapping happening right now. A lot of just great raps. Not many people are doing super dope conceptual albums that involve like stories and things of that nature. Well, I shouldn't say I haven't listened to everything, but everything that I've been coming across has just been fire rap, which is fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with just having a bunch of fire raps. And I am I saw the Conway interview on Wake Up with Angela Yee. He addressed that the thing with him and Benny is not real, like that there was no fight, it was no craziness, which is, I'm very happy to hear that. I mean, I know cousins be fighting and stuff. Shoot, I fought some of my cousins before, but I'm glad that they at least, even if it was something bigger than what it was, than was just like an argument or whatever, like a drinking drunk argument, even if it might have been something more than that, I'm glad that he just reduced it, like, yo, that ain't nothing. Like, no, come on. You know, that's I think more rappers need to be on that side of history of the, yo, no, it ain't nothing. That's, you know, that's family, or that's my man's. It ain't like that. We just, you know, we be bugging out, we be drinking, we be hollering at each other, like, you know, on the outside looking in, you might think it's real beef, but it ain't. And I think more people can benefit for things right like that. Yeah. I know. Hey, Jid is actually doing this thing, man. Excuse me. Yeah. It's always something like some inner workings of Griselda, but yet they be cool, but yet they doing their own thing, which I think is awesome as well. I think that is awesome. Man, well, that's going to do it for me tonight, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning into the live. You know what I'm saying? Man, hopefully some more white on white crime happens. No, I'm just tripping. Yeah, but no, hey, listen, man, no, if nothing else, man, just know that this is how I feel. This is how we're going to close the night out. Yo, man, success is definitely earned. It can also be given, you know, shout out to Anthony Mackie, I guess. But no matter what, man, you know, we all got a race to run. And sometimes that race, you might twist your ankle. You might put a hole in your shoe and need a new pair. You know, anything can happen. You may start off a mile ahead and then wake up one day and you feel 3 miles behind. But the most important thing to do is just run your race. You know what you will and won't do, and so do other people. So with that being said, just be happy for everybody's success. Even the people that hate on you. Look, it's some people I don't mess with at all. You know what I'm saying? And I won't be shy about that. I'm also not a liar. So, you know, it's but at the same time, it's like, you know, hey, look, if whether they win or lose, you probably won't hear a peep out of me. You probably won't, unless I hear my name. Hear my name though, all bets are off. But hey, listen, that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you next time. I'm going to try to do another episode on live this week before the week is up, man. And listen, man, be safe, be humble, live hip hop, support what you love, instead of bashing what you hate. And just know that always and consensually, it's love.